At least 20 more detainees from the Guantanamo Bay prison are set to be released, a decision made by the Obama administration. So the detainees expected to be sent to various countries worldwide. Retired Lieutenant Colonel, Fox News strategic analyst Ralph Peters is with me now. So, Colonel, what are the chances these detainees go back to terror-related activities? Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, the question is just how many will go back to terror-related activities and how soon. I mean, a fundamental problem, Deirdre, is President Obama, for all his intelligence, for all his talents, he just can't ever admit he's wrong. And he was wrong about Guantanamo, as the left was wrong. You need a place, a high-security place, to put high-level, hardcore terrorists you capture on the battlefield. And by closing Guantanamo, that leaves us with no place. Now, there is a bright side. The bright side is he was so determined not to add prisoners to Guantanamo that basically he's turned our military loose to kill terrorists on the battlefield. We've been doing it. And so what the left gets is, yeah, close Guantanamo, but we're killing the guys instead of imprisoning them.
And you've pointed out to me before, Colonel, Guantanamo Bay is obviously separated from the U.S. by an ocean. There are all kinds of strategic and placement location, if you like, safeties that were built in.
Yeah, there are indeed. And, you know, if you bring these terrorists to U.S. soil, then all sorts of rights kick in and it becomes an orgy for lawyers. And on Guantanamo, the lies told by the left about Guantanamo from the beginning have been destructive and ultimately counterproductive even for the left because, again, we're killing terrorists now. The prisoners at Guantanamo consistently have better treatment, better facilities, and far, far more personal rights than American citizen prisoners in our penitentiaries and state prisons.
So, Colonel, let me ask you, because you said if you bring these prisoners, these detainees back to the U.S., obviously that's a risk. I almost think it's more of a risk, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong, to send them back overseas, to go back to Yemen or back to Kuwait or back to Saudi Arabia. Don't they reconnect with a certain element, a local element there, and come back as heroes for having survived a U.S. prison?
Well, Deirdre, I absolutely agree with you. We do turn them into heroes by letting them loose. And in fact, the issue about bringing them to the United States isn't danger to American citizens. They would be in supermax prisons with much, much tougher treatment than they get at Guantanamo. The problem is, again, the outrageous expense to the American taxpayer, and on top of that, the lionization of them by the left, by lawyers. And if you want to make a terrorist a martyr, you don't kill them. A dead terrorist is dead. You know, who's out protesting in favor of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi? Everybody's forgotten that guy. But when you imprison them like this, if you bring them to the U.S., go through trial after trial and lawyer after lawyer and public statement after public statement, that's when you turn them into living martyrs. That's when you get terrorist attacks trying to free them. And the whole thing is convoluted. And
where they can develop a following.
Yeah, just kill them.
Okay. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, thank you, sir. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Deirdre.